Andrew, you've been positioned as the third I mean, independence is quite important to you, but you're a big independent. So there are some other rivals coming into the sector now. How much extra scope do you think there is for others to carve out a niche against the reinvigorating Coles, Woolworths?
The supermarket industry or the food industry is an $80 billion industry. Our argument always is the more competitors, the better. I think it's
oh, that's so kind of you.
Yeah. I think it's.
Do you mean it really?
I'm being absolutely honest. I think it's the most highly dominated or concentrated industry in the world, and one of the side effects of that is a lack of innovation. So right now we're sitting to all our manufacturers and saying, where are all the new products? The new products have disappeared. It's the lifeblood. There's one here that does have a new product, but there's the lifeblood of our industry is gone. In terms of what the competitors do or don't do and where we are, we're not really worried about that. We obviously watch them.
Do you mean that too?
Yeah, we run our business. I'd love to be able to sit up here and say, geez, I'm the proud owner of 450 stores. They're all the same and they operate like a chain. It's over. We can't do that. So we focus on being different and we make sure that each IGA retailer has a good offer but adds his point of difference. And the one of the most amazing thing that we've done is we've recently gone through a 2-year process led by an external body of sitting down with our IGA retailers and saying, and there are 1,300 of them, and saying, look, we've been fairly successful, taken our market share from around about 11 to 19, 20%. We're making lots of money, our retailers are making lots of money, we're up against 2 giants. Are the things that we've done in the last 10 years to get there the same things that we just have to repeat for the next 10 years? And the answer was obviously no. So we've come out with a whole new set of trading terms, a whole new relationship, and really reinventing the wheel. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with our business and nothing wrong with our IGA retailers' business. But just saying this is where the money's going to go, these are the behaviours we're going to reward going forward. So in a situation where we've just gone through this life, the usual life cycle, we're busy reinventing ourselves and saying, this is where this is the prize if we change our behaviours all over again. And it's all about growth and compliance and the system and being different. But if we don't, hey, maybe we'll go back to 15 or 14% market share, but we're definitely not going there. So we've just announced that. Our IGA retailers are absolutely over the moon. We had the majority of them, about 4,000 or 5,000 people at an expo in Sydney, on the Gold Coast where we announced it, and things are very, very positive. But you've got to, every now and again in a 7 or 8, or this took us 10 years, reinvent yourself, rebalance the scales and set yourself new goals, and we've just done that. So we're very excited about growth. And yeah, we watch the opposition every single day, but we get on running our business.
Okay, now I've got one more question here and then we're going to swing to the audience. A quick swing through about the major issue on your radar at the moment for each of you.
For me, it'd be the changes yet again in industrial relations legislation that continue to create an environment of uncertainty when you're trying to negotiate enterprise agreements with your staff and the government continues to change the rules. I mean, at the moment we have a Sunday trading arrangement with our staff on Saturday and Sunday, and suddenly the government changes the legislation to, in some cases, in some states, double the penalty rates associated with that. Now, it resets the mark almost overnight as to what you have to pay your staff and what your enterprise agreement is. And although we're covered by awards, but we're above those awards with enterprise agreements. And so I think once again, as has been the case for the last 10 years with various governments, the ability to effectively manage and stabilise the award structure in the industrial relations environment, to me, is a real issue going forward for government and for industry alike.
Yeah.
No, I'd add to that. I think the Prime Minister and the Treasurer can probably claim some success for holding more Australians in employment through their actions across the last 9 months. What they are now sitting upon is a time bomb going the other way. I know within the broader Wesfarmers retail group, what we're talking about with those sort of changes that Bernie articulated is the choice between prices up or 2,000 jobs out, or just take a whopping great hit on about 2,000 jobs, because things like double time and a half on Sunday come back when we'd all moved on from that and we'd bought it out in enterprise agreements and people had been compensated for trading that. It just seems ludicrous. and very, very counterintuitive to what they've been so good at delivering across the last 9 months.
So how do we fix that? What's the compromise?
Well, I think firstly there's a far more consultative requirement needed in the government.
You getting that yet?
Oh, well, I mean, you look at the way that the changes in legislation were drafted, there was very little consultation. To some extent, retailers have got to look in the mirror too, because we've got this absolutely absurd situation where there are 3 different groups representing retailers and there's no unified voice for retailing, which is one of the few major industries, not only in Australia but in the world, that don't have a voice with government. So we have to blame ourselves for having 3 different organisations, but at the same time, the government needs to be far more consultative.
Okay. Andrew, I'm going to ask you to hold that thought, and perhaps you 3 can get together on some ideas.